This will be for the con exercise, one-step multiplication and division equations, fractions and decimals. All right, so the definition of a reciprocal, that is when you switch the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so let's say you had a fraction, a over b, and if you took the reciprocal, that would become b over a. All right, so I just took the numerator and wrote it on the bottom, and I took the denominator and wrote it on the top. That's the reciprocal. All right, and when you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, it cancels. In other words, it equals 1. So if you have a fraction, let's say a over b, and you multiply by its reciprocal, so times b over a. And now what happens right there? Well, these are multiplied, so you can cancel top and bottom from one fraction to the other. Okay, these are multiplied, so b divided by b cancels, it's just 1. And a divided by a cancels, and that's just 1. Okay, and of course 1 times 1 is just 1. So if you have a fraction times x, and you want to get rid of it, you multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So let's see the problems. All right, here they want us to solve the equation. So we have two fractions and a letter h. We are solving for h. So we want to isolate this h. This is basically 7/10 times h. Okay, I'll use the parentheses to make it more clear. All right, since we have h times 7/10, the opposite would be divided by 7/10. However, dividing by 7/10 would be the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, don't write this part yet, but if I did this divided by 7/10, okay, basically you would have to use keep, change, flip. You keep this, you change division to multiplication, and you flip or take the reciprocal of the denominator. Okay, so that's why we're multiplying by the reciprocal. So forget about this right here. And what we're going to do, instead of 7/10, we're going to multiply both sides by 10 over 7. Okay, so this right here is the reciprocal of this right here. You want to do the same thing to both sides. So multiply by 10 over 7. Okay, I couldn't use the parentheses here. I didn't have room, but this is times. All right, so I did times 10 over 7 on both sides. I just took the reciprocal of this number. Okay, and these are all multiplied, so I can cancel top and bottom. 10 divided by 10 is gone. 7 divided by 7 is gone, and I'm just left with h and the equal sign. Over here, these are all multiplied. 7 divided by 7 cancels, and 10 divided by 2 is just 5. So h equals 5. All right, this is just a decimal problem here. This is n times 12. The opposite of times 12 is divided by 12. Okay, I do that to both sides. And over here, 12 over 12 cancels. Bring down the equals. We're left with n. Okay, and you can do this on the calculator if you like. But I can show you a shortcut here, or at least a little trick to do it manually. If I did 36 divided by 12, we know that equals 3. Okay, but if this is 3.6. If I take that decimal and move it over one place in the numerator, I have to move it over one place in the answer as well. So that would just be 0.3 or 0.3, same thing. Okay, if you don't believe me or you don't really understand the trick, you could just do this on the calculator and you'll get n equals 0.3. So you can write 0.3 or 0.3, same thing. All right, here we have 12 times j, or j times 12. The opposite of times 12 is divided by 12. Okay, and it cancels here. And I'm not sure if they make you reduce. So far, j equals 21 over 12. We can reduce this, but I want to see if con makes you reduce. Okay, so to write that fraction, I would just write 21/12. Let's see if it works. Okay, it does give it to you. But if you did need to reduce, these are both divisible by 3. So I would do divided by 3 and divided by 3 on both the top and the bottom. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that would be the same thing, but it would be in reduced form. All right, here we have a times 1/2. Remember, when the variable is times a fraction, you just multiply by the reciprocal. So instead of 1 over 2, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 1. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side as well. So that's going to be times 2 over 1. All right, on the left-hand side, 2 over 2 cancels. And we're basically just left with 1 times a. 1a is the same as a, so you can really cancel the 1 as well. On the right-hand side, the denominator on the 11, you can make it a 1 if you like, if you need to, okay? In the numerator, 11 times 2 is 22. Denominator, 1 times 1 is just 1. And 22 over 1 just equals 22. All right, here we have 2/3 times x, or x times 2/3. The way to get rid of 2/3 is to do times the reciprocal. All right, you want to do the reciprocal times multiplied on both sides. So 3/2, you reverse it, and 2/3, you reverse it and make it 3/2. So the 3 is on the bottom, you put it on the top. The 2 is on the top, you put it on the bottom. Okay, so it's times 3/2. You do the same thing to both sides. Now these are all multiplied, so you can cancel top and bottom, 3 over 3, 2 over 2, and we're left with the x. On the left-hand side, 3 times 1. Let's see, I'll erase this here. 3 times 1 is 3. And on the denominators, 2 times 2 is 4. And that equals x. All right, so basically for the reciprocals, you take the number that's times x and you reverse or switch the numerator and denominator and multiply by that number. Okay, click in the box. 3/4 is going to be 3/4.